Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Hello, this is Sanjay speaking, and welcome back to this very special edition of Atlanta Business Radio. It's time for Trusted Advisor Radio, brought to you by our good friends at the Country Financial. Now, here's your host, Chris Seabrook.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Seabrook again. Today is Thursday, July 11th, and we're here bringing you another episode of Trusted Advisor Radio. I've got a studio full of great guests, and I won't burn through too much time. We'll go ahead and do some introductions. So I have, hopefully I don't butcher this, Tara Alderete.
That's perfect.
With Clearpoint. I've got Andrea and George Burnett with Powerhouse Pest Control. And I've got Melissa Lester, or as I call her, Missy, with Uncommon Properties. So we're going to start off. I'm going to talk to Tara a little bit. I want you to tell us a little bit about Clearpoint and the services that you guys provide.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on today. Clearpoint we operate as a division of MMI. We recently merged in 2016, and we are the largest nonprofit full-service consumer credit counseling and education organization in the nation. So, in short, we have a mission to improve lives through financial education, and we do that through education and counseling in the community, one-on-one, over the phone, in line, and in person.
Very cool. So now, when you say consumer counseling, how does that differ? Because a lot of people now think of as credit counseling as credit repair. How does that differ? What are the services that you offer that kind of differentiate you all?
Sure. So the services that we offer really are focused on helping individuals overcome financial challenges. Mm-hmm. And whether that means building a budget and a savings plan that you can live with, reducing debt, purchasing your home, avoiding foreclosure, any of those things we can walk you through. So the biggest difference between like a debt management plan that we would offer and a debt settlement organization is that you're repaying your debt with the help of an organization like ours, mm-hmm. where we can work with your creditors to lower your interest rates and get you paid out of debt within 3 to 5 years.
Wow. So I'm sure that's it sounds very, very empowering. But what are you finding? I guess the average household that you're working with, is it more so focused on lowering their interest rates, or how are you? I guess how do you empower them?
Well, everybody's got a different financial challenge. Right. And as we know, as life goes on, different things come up. So regardless of what that is, folks will reach out to us when they have the biggest need. We start with a debt and budget session and really just kind of get that budget in line and under control, and then move from there to identify financial goals and what we can do to achieve them.
Wow. And little shameless plug here. I know that Clearpoint and Country Financial have a good relationship together, but can you explain kind of how that relationship works?
Yeah, it's a fantastic relationship that we're happy to have. So for several years, we've worked with Country Financial to specifically focus on improving financial education in the Hispanic community. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of programs, apps, services for the mainstream community, but not too many for the Hispanic community, where we know there may be lack of knowledge around credit scores, financial products, or just the way the American financial system works in general. So we work together out at the Consulate of Mexico with the Latin American Association, different organizations like that, to provide education and trusted financial resources to help them achieve their goals.
Wow. And what are some other things that you all are working on? Like, what's next for Clearpoint and MMI?
So many great things. So in our Hispanic community, we're always trying to innovate and change. So we've recently developed an online learning community to not only reach folks in Atlanta and Georgia, but beyond. We're doing 8-hour homebuyer workshops to really empower folks to become first-time homeowners. And then we've also got a great military program where we're empowering military families through our Reconnect program. And then another initiative that's coming down the pipeline that I'm really excited about is to help survivors of natural disasters as they embark on the recovery process. So helping them get their finances in order and really just beginning that recovery.
That is awesome. And next, I want to go ahead and come over to you, Melissa. So tell me, I know you're a realtor, but tell me about your company and some of the services that you all offer with Uncommon Properties.
So our company is called Uncommon Property Realty. We're based out of Brookhaven, but we have houses all over the Atlanta area. What we do is we help investors focus on buying property, but instead of buying them to flip, what we do is we convert them into rental portfolios. And that way we're able to provide people with passive income streams, be it so that a spouse can stay home with children, or so that they can plan for retirement, or just have an extra net cushion for whatever they may need it for. We focus on areas where we're able to help a lot of people struggling with the affordable housing crisis. But then we've also been working with a lot of millennials who are starting families and all of a sudden realize that they need more space than just their condo or townhouse. And instead of selling them, I'm able to help convert those into rental properties for them so that they can have a new nest egg.
Wow. And you also work with individuals, so you don't necessarily have to have somebody who's got thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to put into a portfolio. You can kind of help those individuals who are looking to get into real estate to build a portfolio, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have several LLCs that you can buy a share of. So it doesn't matter if you come to me with 5,000, 50,000, 500,000, like we'll find. But if you do have 500,000, please come to me, and we can definitely get you set up with the right portfolio, the right LLC, and investors.
So, since I work on the insurance side and I have an opportunity to talk to people who are insuring homes that they've purchased, I've talked to people who are like, they're going out now and they're trying to find houses and they're getting snatched up really quickly. Is that something that you're seeing when you're going out and you're working with home buyers?
I think that there's no way I could say that the market has gone up. There are fewer. We're not buying houses for $40,000 anymore. They've definitely gone up, and with gentrification in the Atlanta area and everything like that, it is harder and harder to find, which also contributes to some of the other problems. But all in all, I mean, I'm still finding houses all over Atlanta. I have a closing right after this anyway, so that answers your question.
So with that being said, I mean, I know that there's always the dream of home ownership. People really want to get into that house. Are you seeing that, I guess, millennials or this next generation are actually endeavoring to kind of go out and purchase homes now? Or is it still more of a trend towards renting and, the thought is there maybe to purchase a home, but you haven't really made that transition?
So I think that they are in the process of making that transition. There was definitely the trend for millennials to stay at home longer, especially during the Great Recession in 2008 to 2012. And they're still a little gun shy. Also, one of the things is that the developers, these custom homes are selling for $500,000. And if you're trying to get a conventional loan at $20,000, at 20% down payment, I just don't know any millennial that can just afford that right out of college or grad school. But you are seeing them making these transitions. Millennials are buying houses in the West End and buying homes that are more affordable and within their budget that they can make a reasonable down payment on, or utilizing loans like the FHA loan through the government.
Mm-hmm. So now with you mentioning the whole down payment, is that one of the largest hurdles that you're seeing with people trying to purchase homes, or are there other things that people need to consider?
I think there's a lot of things that you need to consider when buying a home, but yeah, financially, aside from being told a 30-year commitment is probably the biggest commitment you've ever made in your lifetime at that point, is a 20% conventional loan down payment. But there are other programs that can also assist you with down payments. There's programs out there. There's different loan types. If you're fortunate enough to have a bank of mom and dad, they might help out. So
the bank of mom and dad is always helpful. So outside of the bank of mom and dad, what are some programs that you've seen? I know that you can take different courses and things like that to get down payment assistance. Like you said, there are other types of loans. But what are some things that you see that new home buyers, first-time home buyers, can take advantage of, or might make their journey to home ownership a little bit easier?
I think that depending on what industry you're in alone, that there might be resources for that. I had a friend that used an organization through from being an educator. I'm not sure what the name of the group was off the top of my head, but it assisted with their closing costs on the purchase of their first-time home. Had another client that decided to use a Department of Agriculture loan to purchase a house on land that was further out from the city in a much more rural area, because it was something that she could utilize to make it more affordable.
Okay. And since you work with investors, if somebody wants to go out and let's say maybe they are renting their home, are you seeing individuals who will rent but still may reach out to you to find opportunities to take advantage of real estate and create that passive income stream?
Yeah, I've had several of my tenants that have decided to make the transition into becoming first-time homeowners, and I've always been happy to help if I can point them in the right direction to find a lender, if I can actually act as their agent on their behalf. But we've had several renters that ultimately want to become homeowners. I don't think that's uncommon at all.
Yeah. Well, no. So being I guess having a client who is renting for their own personal use, but wanting to invest to kind of take advantage of passive income. So they're maybe getting either a little bit more, maybe even a little bit less home than they would have, but they've got some luxuries because they're renting, but they want to get into investing. Do you see many of those situations, or would you encourage that?
Yeah, I would. I would definitely encourage it. I just think that it's a great investment. You're always going to need real estate. Land is the one thing that you can't create more of. So it's always a good investment to have. So that's how my dad put both my brother and I through colleges. Was like before he was a homeowner himself, he bought property to invest in and turn into passive income.
Yeah, and your company is a family owned business, right?
It is.
Yeah. So how's the dynamic there? Is it pretty interesting to work for the family? Is it the best thing that's happened since sliced bread? Hopefully Dad's not listening if you're going to say anything. No,
So we don't like to say that any of us works for one another, that we work with one another.
Right.
And honestly, we're very fortunate. It is without a doubt probably the best relationship I've had
awesome.
with my parents and family since moving back.
That's awesome. So speaking of another family-owned business, I guess, Andrea, if you'll share with me just a little bit about Powerhouse, maybe how you all got started and some insights on the company.
Sure. We appreciate the opportunity. I'm Andrea Felicia, for those who know me by different names. It can be confusing sometimes. But yes, Powerhouse, we're celebrating 17 years of being in business.
Wow.
And we're very proud to be woman-owned and to be Black, and to be we serve residential, commercial, and we have government clients as well. So, and we kill bugs. That's what we do.
I can attest to that. I'm a client. They do definitely kill bugs. That's one of the things that I found interesting when I purchased my house was that bugs don't tend to care that you're paying the mortgage. They want to come in and take advantage of your house as well.
They're called pests.
Yeah. So it definitely is helpful to have someone who can kind of take advantage of, who can kick those pests out.
Yeah.
So how did Powerhouse kind of get into the pest control business? How did that start?
Well, let me introduce George. He's our VP of Operations, and he's my husband. He's the one that got
all
us
his
in.
titles.
He's the one that got us into this pest control industry.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the president and CEO, and we're pretty excited about that. And what makes it so much fun for me is that if ever the vice president of operations get in trouble and she wants to fire him, the husband speaks up for him, and that way she can give him another chance.
Right.
Anyway, I used to be with Serious Termite and Pest Control, and
Back in the day.
back in 1994, back in the day, and after a few years, Serious decided to go out of business. Well, we were in the office, and they had about 60 of us there, and they informed us that we had 30 days to clear out our desk. Wow. And it was pretty shocking. And I said, well, that's the last time I get fired.
Right.
I start drawing the logo you see on our shirts, and Powerhouse was born in March of 2002. And it's been interesting. It's been exciting. It's been challenging. It's been successful. So that's pretty much how we got started in the industry, and that's when Powerhouse was born.
Wow. So I love the power of entrepreneurialism. When you get fed up, sometimes even before you get fed up, having the opportunity to be able to create your own opportunity is huge. But what are some reasons why customers might decide to choose you all versus some of the other pest control companies that are out there?
We're pretty unique in that we offer a customized service. Every home is different, so we try to meet the needs of that specific homeowner. You have crawl spaces, you have homes that don't have crawl spaces, and you have various cracks and crevices that are in one place that are not in another. So we try to treat various voids and appliances. We treat every aspect of the home, from the crawl space to the attic, all the wall voids, the appliances, the cabinets, interior, exterior, the eaves, the soffits, the garage.
Called a Powerhouse Deluxe.
Right. The exterior, where insects live and breed. So we pretty much, anywhere the insect lives and breathes, we try to make sure we are there to eliminate that problem before they get into the home.
Very cool. So what are some of the benefits, I guess, that you can say might come from, benefits and I guess maybe your value systems that come from owning a pest control company? I know there's things that you probably experience and that you see. So I'll let you speak on that.
Well, some of the benefits of being business owners is that it's yours. And it's your little baby.
Right.
and you're going through the growing pains. It's very interesting because one thing about Powerhouse, we didn't want to blow up. We wanted to grow up.
Right.
So since we've been in business for 17 years, and we may not be as big as some of the other guys, but we're still here. And that's what's so exciting, that we're still here, we're making a difference, and we're meeting the needs of our customers. And that's why they choose us, because they can see that we're professional and that we show up by appointment. We don't give you this window between 8 and 5, really?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And that makes us different. That makes us different.
If I may, Chris,
Sure.
One of the things that separates us from our competition is that they may have 15 to 16 appointments one day on their route. The max we're going to have is 6.
Wow.
And the reason that is because we don't want to just come to the home, rush in and rush out, not really solving the problem, just putting a Band-Aid on the situation. But we want to come in, have an interview with the customer, find out what they're seeing, what are the concerns, then do an inspection to find out what the problem actually is, and then prescribe a method of treatment that we can actually solve the problem. That may take an hour, it may take 2. Whatever time is necessary, we can provide that time by pushing the schedule back. We can slide the schedule back and forth because we don't have to get to the next account in 10 minutes.
Right.
We have the time that's necessary to solve a problem rather than just go and pretend that we have done something when in actuality we just pushed it forward.
Okay. So tell me, what are some of the services that you all offer? Of course, pest control, but break that down for me.
We do pest control, and that is our Powerhouse Deluxe. That's our full-service pest control program. We offer a quarterly program where we just treat the interior and exterior, and that's just on a quarterly basis.
Yeah.
And we offer a termite service, and not the monitoring system, but a liquid treatment. That's a different type of program if you're not familiar with the bait stations versus an actual trench around the foundation, and when you actually inject the product into the ground, which requires a lot of man hours and very labor intensive, and actually give you a better barrier and actually protects the home and give you a long lasting service. And we offer a repair guarantee with that termite program. We do mosquito, and we do bed bug, and am I forgetting anything?
Roaches?
Well, I consider those just regular pests, but she's speaking of a particular insect, the German roach, is a specialty item. You don't want German roaches, ladies.
Well, any kind of roaches.
well, what makes the German roach so dreaded is because if one German roach gets into your home, and she's pregnant, this time next year you have 35 to 40,000.
Wow.
Yes, she mates one time, and she has offspring the rest of her life. Aren't you glad you're not a bug? I mean, and so they reproduce very rapidly. So that one is a specialty item, and we do treat for that as well.
Jeez. So if you go to a house, and this is just random, if you go to a house now and you've got an infestation, about how long does that generally? I mean, I'm sure it varies, but what's the timeline on that if you've got a problem that severe?
Well, if you're going with the average company, it could take months, even years. But with Powerhouse, we'll get it done in 3 to 5 weeks, and we guarantee that. Wow. 3 to 5 weeks. But see, we come without giving away too many trade secrets. We come every week until the problem is actually extinguished. We don't wait every quarter to come out, because see, they reproduce very quickly,
right?
And they recoup any damage, any insect you may have eliminated. They can recover, and they can get used to the product where it's not as effective as it once was. So you have to hit them quick, you have to hit them fast, you have to hit them consistently, and we do that on a weekly basis. That way we can ensure the customer with 90 days, you're not going to have a problem. 30 days, it's eliminated.
Wow. Okay. And being a Black woman-owned pest control company, I'm sure that's had some sort of impact on the industry as a whole. I don't know of very many. Can you tell me what would you say that you feel like your impact has been on the industry?
Well, I would say that we've made a difference, especially in the government sector, because they do have different programs available for minority, for women, that they have set-asides that you're able to capture. And so that has made a big difference in us getting those government contracts that we have. We have 4 government contracts at this time, wow. And they give you incentives, because you are woman-owned, because you are minority. Okay, so that's one impact that we have. And then being vendors for the government, pest control has always gotten a bad rap, but we've made a difference in that we can represent and we kill, we eliminate problems.
Right.
And they're not used to that. They're used to just someone placating, and they're not used to having quality, good professional service. So that's one thing that we have made the difference and the impact in the industry, that they respect pest control now, and we're able to get paid
right.
for the services that we actually provide.
I think what Felicia is saying there is, from my perspective, is when you show up to someone's house, you should look professional. Right. Your truck should be clean. You should have a nice uniform on that matches. Your material should have your logo on it. And I tell my guys, it's not enough to do a good job, but you have to look good while you're doing it. And they say, They say, it's your uniform, or your shoes shine. Is your shirt clean? Is it tucked? Or you have any holes in your pants? So how's your hat look? Is it clean, or is it soiled? Little things like that. And then you're looking good. Now, you introduce yourself. How do you sound? Do you sound like a professional? Okay, you passed all the tests. Now, can you perform?
Yeah.
That's what separates us from many of our competitors, because, the bug man is coming. We're not bug men. We like to be thought of as professionals, just like you would a doctor. I mean, you go to your doctor because he is a specialist. If you could operate on yourself, then you wouldn't need a doctor. And we like to think of ourselves as professionals. I mean, I am the doctor for your home. The home is my patient. I'm the professional here. Let me do my operation on the house, and I promise you'll like the results that you receive.
Very cool. And You kind of alluded to some of this, but what are some of the things that you say your clients that your clients or customers say about you?
They love us. For real.
Right.
They respect us.
Right.
They say we're trustworthy. They say we're awesome. They say Powerhouse rocks. I say, yeah.
Educators, technically sound, professional, clean, sharp, sometimes good looking.
I know.
But they appreciate it because we can laugh at ourselves. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we take our work very seriously.
Yes.
And people pick up on that we're having fun. And if you guys really knew that I would do this stuff for free, Chris, you probably would let me do it for free. But we love what we do. We would probably do like the athletes in the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball. We're going to play the game anyway. We're going to kill bugs anyway. We just have to make a living at doing it. Very cool.
Very cool. Thinking back to the German roach issue,
really,
it kind of makes me think of when I used to many years ago have a rental property, and so this question's for you, Missy. Just thinking about, I guess, some of the things that you might run into or encounter when you're going out and you're finding properties for some of your clients. Have you run into any issues where there's been really bad bugs, where there's been, major issues that you have to go in and correct, and how do you take care of those for your clients?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, shout out to Powerhouse, man, because, German roaches are the devil. Oh, I hate when I get a call and we've got German roaches. I'm like, I did the same thing. That's
just
not
throw the whole house away before you all.
But it's a serious upcharge if we have to take care of that. We've been in some houses where there's been an infestation, where there's been black mold, where there's just it's just the floorboards are. I went to one house and realized that there wasn't a floor past the kitchen. I was like, well, okay. We have. I mean, we've seen some doozies, but we've been into some other houses where you walk in and it's just like they look just as good as the picture.
Nice.
And I'm like, so those are, of course, my favorites. And so I think other than like I've seen like a dozen houses where I was just like, we're just gonna have to gut the whole thing and strip it down to studs and restart. But I did go into one house. The pictures were sort of representative, but the kitchen and the basement that we discovered, I had my brother who used to work in alcohol sales, and he starts wandering around and following tubing, and he was like, yep, this is a speakeasy house. And I said, what?
Wow.
He said, what? He said, we're in the middle of a speakeasy house. That's what this house was used for. And he found where they were like distilling the alcohol and like had the whole operation rigged up.
Wow. So now you help, you mentioned something. So you guys will go in and clean up and kind of help with the rehab and stuff like that to help.
So I will find the houses on FMLS. You tell me which ones that you're interested in. I will do an analysis and do an initial inspection on my own, where I'll go in and take videos and pictures and then send you my findings. And I'll say, hey, it's an estimate of, you'll need $5,000 in repairs, or hey, you need to be aware that there's gonna need to have like the roof looked at. And then after that, once we close, if there's any repairs that are needed, then I have a crew that I'll send out, and we'll make the necessary repairs and get everything up to code and market it and rent it out for you.
Wow.
And then after that, I play landlord.
There you go. So I'm sure you've had some fun experiences with tenants, especially having, how many houses do you have in the portfolio?
I think we're up to 138.
138. So as you're going in and you're kind of adding new houses to your portfolio, what are some of the things that I guess you either look for in renters, or that you would encourage your clients to, well, I mean, you're handling their landlording issues, but what are some things that you might, I guess, look for or steer clear of when you're looking for tenants?
So I always say that tenant history is the biggest factor that plays into it. I don't worry terribly that much about credit scores, especially if you're young and you haven't had a chance to build credit, or if there's just a good chance that like everybody took a hit last decade. So the biggest thing is tenant history, though. If they have stayed in their current place for a year, preferably 2. I have some clients, so it's a requirement for you to live in their house to have been in your previous place for at least 2 years, because we don't want we don't want to constantly be changing the house every 6 months. Right. And then when you do run a credit report, though, it'll also bring you a report on evictions filed, and so you can see. It's not so much like the actual credit score, but have they paid their rent on time? Have they had evictions filed on them in the past? And what sort of outstanding are they up to date on their outstanding bills?
Okay, wow. And then I guess you brought up, since you brought up the credit score, I know a lot of places look at that, and that's kind of a serious thing. Even on the insurance side, we focus on credit. Have you found that, I guess, giving people the opportunity to, by, I suppose, not looking at their credit, has that ever come back to bite you, or has it with 138 houses, obviously it's working, but what are some things, I guess, that you've come across with people?
So we rent to a lot of Section 8 participants, and that's our contribution to helping with the affordable housing crisis in Atlanta.
Okay.
And so one of the things with that, though, is that when you accept a participant as a tenant, when you work with the housing authority, you're pretty much getting a junk bond with a guarantee. Like, you're going to get your rent from the government no matter what.
Okay.
And then otherwise, I understand that life happens, but it's pretty much a basic rule of you pay, you stay, don't, you won't. But I am always happy to, as long as a tenant communicates with me, then I'm usually more likely to say, okay, we'll work out. Like, you can make 2 payments this month, since your car broke down, or since, you're starting a new job.
Wow. Okay, so kind of giving them a little bit of leeway to make things work, and if they don't, then there are consequences for that.
Yeah, I'm a delightful person until you just don't pay me and don't give me.
Right.
So, but if you communicate with me, then yeah, I'm usually pretty able and flexible to work with something out with you within reason.
Wow, that's awesome. So, I guess Powerhouse. One of the services I think that I thought you all did was mosquitoes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember if you mentioned that or not, but what are some ways, I guess, that you all use to treat for mosquitoes? Because those are those pesky things. When you want to go out and enjoy your yard, you can't go enjoy them because mosquitoes are they're enjoying the outdoor space just like you are. So
it's a good question. Before I answer that question, there's one feature of our business that I don't know how I forgot this, that we offer a money back guarantee on our pest control, our Powerhouse Deluxe.
Okay.
And when I say money back guarantee, here's what I mean. We'll come back if the bugs come back, and we'll continue to do that. But let's say we get 6-8 months to the program and the bugs are just there and we cannot solve them. We'll give you back 100% of the money that you give us, plus $25 for giving us a chance to serve you, which makes our claim service fast and friendly. 17 years, I think we've done 2 or 3, and I knew I was going to do that. I knew they were going to happen, but
German roaches.
Yeah. But the fun part, nobody. I challenge any company out there to match that guarantee.
Wow.
100% plus $25. So it means either your bugs are gone or you make a profit. There is no risk of doing business with Powerhouse.
Wow.
Now for the mosquitoes.
And now back to the mosquitoes.
Right.
Well, we do a fogging system where we fog all the foliage. Before we do that, we'll walk around the property, remove any breeding sites, tires, a cup or a bottle cap, a divot in the grass, anything that will hold water. And we eliminate those, and then we'll go and we fog all the foliage. We'll do a lawn treatment, and we'll spray the exterior of the building around the doors and the eaves and the various resting places where mosquitoes may breed or rest. And we let the homeowner tell us where a lot of their activity is taking place, where they spend most of their time. We want to pay close attention to that area to make sure that that area is free and clear. Now, we're not going to say you're never going to see another mosquito because they are flying insects, but the population will decrease significantly.
Wow. And a lot of times, I think people don't understand that there are special breeding grounds that might encourage more mosquitoes than others. So it's pretty awesome that you kind of go out and find those things. So when it comes to general pests, I'm sure that you would go around the house the same way and kind of find areas that might be attractive to pests. But I'll let you maybe share how you take up your approach to that.
We call those conditions conducive to. Termites like wood around the home, earth to wood contact. They like moist conditions. If there was a leaky roof, we do a thorough inspection to determine, are there conditions that are contributing to your pest concern. For instance, if you have mulch around the home and you have a cockroach problem or Argentine ant situation going on, it could be because you have so much mulch that's been piling up over the years, and when it rains, the moisture is contained in that mulch, and they like those conditions. So we say pull some of that mulch back, create a nice moat or a space 10 to 12 inches around the foundation of your home, create a nice dry area, and you can eliminate some of those problems. And keep your trees trimmed, your shrubs. Don't let don't let it get so wild that it's touching the house, because now those are bridges. The ants use those as bridges to get into your home. Those little weep holes that we don't see, they're in the house. And we wonder how they get in. Or if you have a home and you have trees over your home and the branches are touching the top of your roof. We've scoured the house. We can't find out how these ants are getting in. And they're laughing at us because they're going up the tree, over the branch, on top of the roof, into the attic, into your house. We can't figure it out. And there it is right there in front of you. It's so obvious. So we do a very thorough inspection to determine what is the problem and how they may be coming into your home. And then we sit down with the homeowner and inform them what we have found.
Educate.
As she would like to say. Educate. That way you'll know exactly what's going on, especially in your attic. Sometimes you go into the attic and you'll find situations in there. The attic may be overrun with water, or it may not be functioning, or you may see the roof leaks from inside the attic, or sometimes the water heater is busted. So you see all kind of things that the homeowner was not aware of. So we make sure we do a very thorough inspection to make sure that we bring everything that we find out to the table, that you can be educated and informed as to what's going on with your home and how we can help solve or rectify some of those problems.
Okay, and so you just shared a little nugget about the mulch that brought up a question. So, what are your thoughts on rubber mulch?
I like those. That's not bad.
Do those still pose the same potential issues? Should they still be a barrier?
Anything that's that's not so bad. What rubber is fine. Even the pine straw, it's not bad as long as you create a barrier, not a barrier, separation, some space. What I don't like is those wood chips around the foundation of your home. Why would I hate the wood chips? Well, what do you think termites eat? What attracts termites? Well, I mentioned earth to wood contact earlier. Well, you have wood mulch right at the foundation of your home, right on top of the earth. And termites are in the ground looking for wood. Oh, here's some. They come right up into that mulch and they say, wow, what's this big structure here? Oh, there's a lot of dead wood in this structure. And they go right into it because they can't tell the difference between the wood that dies in the forest and the wood that is the framework of our homes. Wow. And they can't tell. So don't be mad at the termite. It's just doing what it's designed to do, destroy dead wood. Right. Unfortunately, your home is made of the substance.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we're coming up towards the tail end of our show. And we like to do a little segment. Country Financial has a campaign where we focus on helping individuals achieve their goals by taking simple steps. So I'd like to get simple steps from each of you. Tara, if you'll maybe share some simple steps on managing your finances.
Sure. So I think the first thing that you should do is know where your money goes. So track your expenses and build your budget. And that's not something that you can do in your head. So whether it's pen to paper or an app or a spreadsheet, write that down, see where your money's going, see where you want your money to go, and then continue to look at that budget and make adjustments as necessary.
And when people spend money, they have to tell you that they spent it, right?
Yeah, well, and you have to.
Was that a dig? I feel like that.
That's it. You know what? And that's a great point. So it's something. Somebody said recently we never used to talk about politics, religion, or money, and now we can't shut up about two of them. But we're never talking about money, and it's one of the things that we should be talking about with our spouses and our partners. So yes, in addition to tracking your expenses, building the budget, identifying your goals, have those conversations, and then identify those goals, write them down, build a budget that supports it, and continue to look at those to make sure that you're on track to achieve those goals. And if you get stuck, give us a call. Check us out. We will help you.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is good.
And Powerhouse, can you share some simple steps maybe to keep and to discourage pests from entering your house?
Sure. George has shared a lot of things about eliminating conditions that are conducive. But I just say, just have a professional to check it out for you, and allow us to give you that free consultation. It's very important so that you can know exactly what's going on and not just look for a price, but look for service. If you really want, excellent service, then that's what you should be looking for, and not just a price or a quote over the phone.
And I would add to that, sanitation is the number one prevention of insect activity. Clutter around the home, letting things build up, not paying attention. Every home in America is the same. I go into thousands of homes a year, and everyone loves their home. And, you can help eliminate a lot of your pest concerns by removing clutter in there. Just be aware.
The junk drawer you talking about?
The junk area, the clutter space, and we all have one. But some are more cluttered than others. And if you want to if you got a situation, maybe decluttering could be the first step. Like garage that may be loaded, you might want to start taking some stuff out of the garage because rodents love clutter, or you can't find them because they're hiding back up in there and you can't see them. And you wonder, why did you use my house? Well, you can't find them, and they like that place. And just be aware, keep your place neat, hire a professional. We'll take care of the pests, and you take care of the rest.
Very cool. And then Missy, maybe you can share some tips about home ownership, or maybe even looking at real estate as an option for investing.
So I would always encourage anyone to become a homeowner. It's one of the best. It's one of the best investments that you can make in your lifetime. And just use your resources. Talk to a realtor. Find out what types of loans that there are out there, and know what your going back to what Tara said. Like, know what your budget is, not just what your mortgage payment you can afford is, but what the mortgage payment with the principal, with the interest is going to be, and make sure that all of that fits into your budget. And then as far as rental properties go, I mean, again, people are always going to need a place to live. And so that's why we do what we do, so that we can help keep roofs over people's heads and returns in our investors' pockets.
There we go. Okay. And before we sign off, if each of you all will share how people can get in contact with you, your social media, phone numbers, etc. Tara, I'll start with you.
Sure. So again, thanks so much for having me on today. You can check us out at moneymanagement.org, and from there you can access our social media pages, but then also schedule an initial debt and budget counseling session to help you get on track with your financial goals.
Very cool.
Okay, it's Powerhouse Pest Control. You can reach us on the web, www.powerhousepestcontrol.com. and all of our general information will be there.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for George.
I'm with her.
So the name of our company is Uncommon Property Realty. You can go to our website, uncomprop.com. And then UCP Realty is our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram handles.
Fantastic. And of course, I'm Chris with Country Financial. My office assistant, Carrie, is waiting for your call, 770-392-0724. We'd love to help you with your insurance and investment needs. And this has been another episode of Trusted Advisor Radio. Thanks for tuning in.